Recording is on. Recording is on.
Okay. The recording is on. So other than what we got coming up in September, any other educational or information table type things coming up that we know of?
I have a
That'd
couple,
be one area
but not August.
that I would encourage you to have, ask your district captains to be looking for something in their community, whether it's a county fair or welcome, Susan, you got on.
I did.
County fairs or any other kind of an event that's coming up, and see if we can't get more of those going here. August is usually when the county fairs are. Other events, we did not have great luck at the county fair here in Allen County, but the Wells County Fair, a little more of a rural area. Vicki and her group had more success down there than what we had at the Allen County Fair. We didn't do it this year, but last year. And so anyway, gun shows, county fairs, farmers markets. I think Susan, you got a car show coming up. What is it you're going to do?
It's the annual Griffith Rock and Rail Festival, and it's usually on the weekend of Labor Day, and there is a car show. It's just the one day on Saturday, but it runs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. And here in this area, there's a little town called Grable near here, and they're having a Grable County Community Fair or something like that. I know that Lisa and Vicki will be having a table there. I'm not sure who all's involved, but our new region event coordinator, Lisa Phillips, is kind of heading that one up. Question has come up about desire to have region captains try to connect, or district captains try to connect with their legislators very frequently, like monthly. Anybody getting any feedback about that? Or have you talked to your district captains about that?
I do have a question about that. Just want to throw one stone at that. We've got these regional, what are they? So LLs going around. At least I got one in my region.
Right.
They're supposed to be doing some of that. Now we want district captains to also, what's the word for it? To do put themselves known to the legislators. So exactly, what am I trying to say? Exactly how are they supposed to? My mind's leaving me. Are they supposed to not do this without ignoring the legislators and letting them tell them to get lost?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the question's been raised as to whether or not that's too often, too many people. The regional legislative liaison, I think, will be working with the district captains. So if there's a district where there is a district captain, the DC should make the contact. If not, then the region LL should. I think, and I'm kind of hearing people feel like, every month is too often. Although if the legislator is having like town hall meetings, something like that, it can be good to show up at those meetings or other events where you can kind of meet and greet, say hello. But contacting them once a month might be, they're going to probably see that as overkill, wanting to know, why do we want to meet with them? If we've already talked to them about convention of states, we've already talked to them about maybe items coming up in the special session or things that we're anticipating for next year. Once they've heard from us on something once or twice at the most, I think they're going to feel like that might be overkill if we don't have something new that we want to talk to them about. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Just one thing about the overkill. If you have a time span of several months, you need to go back and talk to them again. Sometimes they forget about what you talked to them about, especially if they're not taking notes. In fact, the district captain I just brought on talked to Jeff Rotz. Now he's one of the sponsors of the bill. He couldn't remember what was in it. So, you probably need to shake their heads, branch at them several times during the year.
I would kind of bring up a counterpoint to that too. I'm going to be Thomas's devil's advocate. So I'm looking at this like, this guy works for me. He's my representative. And I think these people have gone far too long and have heard not nearly enough from us as constituents. And sure, we can talk to them about Convention of States, but if you open up a newspaper, there's something virtually every day that warrants their attention. And so I think it opens all kinds of opportunities for regular dialogue. And I don't think monthly is any too often. Whether you're talking with them or if you can't talk to them, then you're bouncing something off of their legislative assistant. It all kind of enhances, you're talking about maybe you miss a month or two, you're still talking about maybe 10 times a year. That's not all that much.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's well worth it to invest that kind of time to have them get to know us, because whenever we reach a convention point, there's going to be a lot of interaction going on, and hopefully they will know who we are by that time and what we firmly stand for. And we're not limited to Convention of States topics. Gun control, abortion, all this other stuff that's coming up. Let them know what you think about it, because otherwise they're going to vote for something. You might as well have a little input.
I think that I agree with you, Dale, on that. I think originally, though, our contact with the legislators was supposed to be revolving around COS. And because we're already a past state, every time I see John Ford, he's like, yeah, I already know about that. So when I contact them, it is about a different issue. It might be abortion. It might be gun control, like you said. So I don't think it's too much if it's not all about Convention of States. And I think we need to rally the troops to make phone calls too about the issues that are going on at the State House.
Okay. That's probably a good idea. If you look in the newspaper, as Dale said, and see what issues are current. And, again, because you are building the relationship with your legislator, or your district captain is building that relationship. It's really personal between the person and the legislator, and it doesn't have to be all Convention of States, or doesn't even have to be something that Convention of States has approved our using COS resources for. So you're just building that relationship, and that could be, related to other things. A lot of the things that are hot buttons for a lot of us are really federal issues, that come out of Washington. But nevertheless, I think we can bend our legislators' ears about those things too, and let them know that we think there's federal encroachment in those areas. And, that's certainly one of the things we need to push back on.
I don't think they want to hear about Convention of States. We're a past state. If we weren't a past state, then it would be all the more reason for us to be pinging on them every month. But we're a past state. They don't want to hear about it. They're waiting on us to get off the duff and get 34 states so they can then get started with something. So I don't think they want to hear about it at all. I get that from my legislator and my senator. I have
Okay.
one senator who he wouldn't even see me about convention of states. I know all of that. Don't bother me with that.
We probably should be thinking about other issues, and I know you've all seen, or most of you have all seen, the 34 ready that I think we're looking at maybe next year or the year after, when we start getting, as we get closer to 34 states, we're going to recommend that Indiana amend their law that relates to how many delegates we will send, or commissioners technically, how many commissioners we will send and what instruction they will have.
And who they should be.
And who they should be.
Yeah, they should not be legislators only. There should be a lot of lay personnel involved in this. If we leave it to the legislators, we'll get nothing.
That's right.
They are part-time politicians, no different than the ones at the big house. None, not a bit of difference.
That'd be another good thing to talk to them about.
Sorry?
I think that I know Marty has said when they originally were pitching this back in 2015, 2016, they were talking about having no elected official of any kind or anybody who works for the government as commissioners, and that was extremely popular. Maybe that's another thing that we ought to be pushing them on, that we want lay people that are not part of government to be the commissioners from Indiana.
That would suit me.
So you guys might pull out your phone and go to the COS Action app and indicate that you've been at this meeting, and encourage all of your district captains, other folks, to do their reports on the phone app. There's nothing official on this at this point, but I think one of the things that we may try to do is phase out of using the MEP and strictly go by what shows up in the COS Action app to count activities.
I vote for that. I think
What
there's
about
so many places to record things, and it's, you just don't remember to do it all. But if you got one place you go to, you're more likely to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, Gary, I reported earlier on that I ran through that with a test of my own personal information that I entered, and I didn't think it was accurate. And so the person who has been doing the most work on this, I'm going to arrange another telephone meeting with her. She's kind of a digital spreadsheet geek and knows a lot about manipulating data and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to have her run me through that one step at a time, and see if I did something wrong or whatever. See if we can get some results to take a look at again.
Okay. Did it appear to you that what may have been done wrong was you inputting the stuff, or you downloading the data from Citizen Builder?
No, it would have been. I mean, I input a lot of stuff, as you know, from seeing the reports, and a lot of the entries that I made I could not find in there.
Okay.
There were only like certain categories that it seemed to pick up.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be good to know if we can some system to kind of audit that for a week or something, and see to make sure that the reports that people are filing in the app show up on that spreadsheet, because that's how we can know that we can really change and just use those reports we get from LMS.
I mean, the first thing that it does is it downloads all the categories. So it'll give you a number, for like training sessions, events watched, all those kind of things. And then once all of that data is there, then you can develop a subset based upon the individual people, that you have available to look at. And then it'll give you totals for each one of them in the different areas. And so that's ultimately what you want, but it has to be accurate or else it's not going to be helpful at all.
Yeah. I noticed that there's almost no new applicants showing up in the LMT. Anybody have any thoughts about that? I just originated some text blasts to people, but it's like we seem to go through periods where we get a lot of applicants, and then right now we've hit a drought. I'm not seeing people.
Yeah, I've sent text blasts into the 4 regions that we discussed, Gary, and I haven't seen anything back from any of them.
Okay.
That's anywhere from like 400 to 900 per region.
Yeah. Well, maybe one of the things we want to encourage too is if we're doing information tables and we're talking to people, and your district captains are talking to people, talk to people about being volunteers and not just signing the petition, but try to mine that data and see if we can find some people who want to volunteer. Anybody have any questions or comments about other things?
Just another comment on that. I mean, although Patrick Romack is sending out those emails to all of the new people, the petition signers and everything, that clears everybody out of the follow-up tool. But we still ought to make sure that the district captains are calling everybody that they can do a search for that's in their region to talk with them specifically, by phone, to thank them for signing the petition. And then at the same time, they can query them about, a potential, volunteering role someplace. Refer them to conventionofstates.com, et cetera. Because I think there's a lot of times we're missing those follow-ups. I don't think that's happening in a lot of places.
Okay.
Well, I know it's not, because you can do the searches and you can see who's making the contacts, and you see Patrick Romack's name an awful lot.
Right.
It's true.
I think that's something else we need to press on is go in your regions and look at those new petition signers, sort them out, and see how many people signed in the last month and how many of them got a phone call. And we need to make those phone calls and try to connect with people, because we do need more volunteer activists. We've got a lot of areas we don't have district captains, and encourage again the district captains to build a team of volunteer activists. Larry, did you have something?
Well, I wanted to follow up. I know you and I talked earlier, and Marty Wood and I talked about this subject yesterday, I think. We've received an open letter, I think, from National. I think it was called an open letter to the legislators or legislatures. And then we received an executive summary. I thought both were something that I wanted to send on to my region, to all of the House districts in my region. But I wanted to be sure that they hadn't already received it. I have no idea, without a distribution list of some kind, where this stuff goes. And when National sends something out, is there some way we can, and maybe somebody here on the call can help me? I have no idea who's getting this stuff. And I certainly don't want to send it out if it's already been received. I don't think people like to get the same thing twice. So I think both of those would be great for a district captain to send out to his or her House district. That gives them an opportunity to speak to their constituency, if you will, their petition signers and volunteers and supporters. But then again, if they send it out and the people have already received it, all they're doing is making work for nothing. And the open letter, for example, I believe on the state call, it was mentioned that open letter was going to be published in, I think, the Wall Street Journal and maybe USA Today, and they wanted to have as many signatures on it as they could get. I went ahead and signed it, but then I lost the ability to send one to anybody with that little link at the bottom. I can't find another original that would allow whoever I send it to click on that and sign it. And there's no point in sending it out if it can't be. Well, there's not. I shouldn't say there's no point. That would be one advantage to sending it out, would be they could sign it. So I don't know how do the rest of you feel on this?
Did you check with Brenda on that?
I have no way of getting a hold of her.
I
I don't know where she is. That's
Well,
another
you
thing.
can find her in Slack, but let me
I couldn't find her.
let me try.
I couldn't find Paul Phillips in Slack.
Yeah, that's a good question though, Larry, because I would operate under the assumption that everybody they have an email address for gets notices that are like that. But I can't swear to you I know that to be true. I mean, that seems logical to me, but.
Well, Dale, my way of thinking, I think that's bad policy. If when National sends something out, if it goes to everybody, then that just short circuits the district captains. They might as well just be off in the corner and not do anything. National's doing it all. It seems like National should talk to state leadership and that's it. And then we take the ball from state and go to our districts. And that gives the district captains real leverage in talking with and working with their house districts. If it's already been done by National, then, well, let's just dispense with what we're doing, let National do it all.
I would say as far as your open letters and stuff, by going through your district dashboard to all these people that are still online for at least July 26th of 2022, none of that stuff's been sent out. So
How do you know?
Well, in the district dashboard, it says so-and-so received this email.
I'm supposed to go through the district dashboard and look at all my constituents and find out if they received that.
I don't think you need to look at all of them. If you can just see that some got them.
Just look at one that you know that is still functional.
Yeah.
And see if they are getting this email that you're saying that they're posting. I haven't received anything like that, so I wouldn't know.
I kind of.
But of course,
I'm inclined to think, Larry.
Do what?
See, I'm inclined to think they just sent that to state leaders, and I'll see if we can't get a link so that we can send that to, other people in the districts and the regions, because
they're both good.
Like you say, once you click on that link, why it's gone. I mean, it doesn't.
Right. You get a copy back, but there's no link with the copy that they send back to you. At least that's what I got. What I received.
Yeah.
Now the executive summary, there's nothing to sign. It's just, but it's worth sending on and talking about, and that could generate maybe a volunteer. Could generate a lot of things if you put it in a text or an email blast. Probably a text blast would be best. But if it's already out there, then it's just duplicative.
What do the rest of you guys think about that? Should we try to send that to everybody?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I sent it to everybody that I knew. You know, everybody that I had that was, you know, that I had email contact with, I put it on my Facebook page, my political Facebook page, Twitter, Truth Social. I posted it everywhere.
Mhm.
Which one, Dale? Both of
The
them, or
the voting one, or the open letter to the states.
open letter? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you send the one that they could all sign, or
Yes.
was it just? It was.
Yeah, because it was the first copy I think that I received. So I didn't do anything with it other than just forward it on.
I should have done that too. Now in retrospect, but I signed it first and then thought I would do it subsequent to signing it, and now I don't have that original.
Right. It disappears.
Yeah. We can probably track down one of those somewhere.
That'd be good if we could.
Yeah, somebody try to send one to him if you find it. I'm thinking that the first time they sent that out, didn't it have little tags so you could share it on Facebook and Twitter and all the other social media?
I don't remember. It just had a hot link at the bottom that said sign here or something like that.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking it did have that.
You mean this open letter that's sitting on a Convention of States website front, you know,
I think
It
it was
says-
posted on Slack too.
open letter to the states. America's future depends on your leadership. And
Right.
if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it says add your signature.
Okay.
That's the one.
Copy and paste it. Or just put the link up just put the link and send the link out.
Yeah. That would contain the hot link to sign it.
Yeah.
And where did you find it?
On the website.
Where?
The bottom.
Depending upon what you're looking at,
Okay.
I found it on the first page of the website,
Okay.
on the right-hand corner up on top.
I'll take a look here.
Okay. For some reason, I'm on a resources page, and that's a different page. But okay, anybody else have other questions, comments?
Gary, one thing, I had you had sent me the link for the LMS reports. I'm still not getting those.
Okay.
Is there a time delay, perhaps?
If everybody here puts a report on the COS Action app, you should get an email for this tomorrow. If you don't get that, Dale, you're working with somebody, is it in Florida, that does that spreadsheet? Do they see if, I don't know, I've tried, and some of the people's names were on there that I could add names and other people were not, and I don't honestly know why. I thought your name was on there, Susan, that I could invite you to get those reports. But
I did receive your link, and I filled it out and submitted, and then I waited. So maybe there's
I
a
will
delay.
ask. I'll check with Brenda on that.
Okay, appreciate it.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Good.
If not, thanks for all you do. Thanks for tuning in. And I will see you guys next week if I don't see you sooner.
Thank you.
See ya.
Yep.
Tom,
Good
I
night
sent
now.
it. I got it. I made a copy.